Hello there, what I'm showing you today is the Buck Model 721 Slimline. And this knife is kind of unique because it is actually only available at Walmart. And so I suppose Walmart has the clout that they can get manufacturers like Buck to produce an exclusive knife, and that increases sales for them and kind of gives them an upper hand when it comes to collectors who want to purchase all of the different types of knife from a particular manufacturer. The cousin of this knife from Buck is the 722 Spitfire, and they look very similar on first glance, but there are a few subtle differences between the two. And this one right here being the 721, of course you see that marked on the blade right there, 721, called the Slimline, and it definitely earns that name because you can see how thin the knife is. And it comes in at retail, $30. Walmart. Three different finishes. This one's the gray finish, which I really like because when you look at it up close, take a look at that brushed aluminum surface there. Very classy. Very classy. But for a made in the USA knife, $30 is a great price point. It's almost amazing how they were able to get it in at that price and still offer it. So, main difference between this knife here and its sister knife, the 722 Spitfire, is number one, the blade shape right here. It's kind of more rounded. I guess you'd say more of a spear tip compared to the drop point of the Spitfire. And then other main difference is when you look at this handle here, it's a bit more contoured right here where my finger's rubbing. So it's a thinner dimension right here than the Spitfire. But everything else looks very similar, and on first glance they look almost identical. They come in the same color styles, which is like orange, lime green, or gray, and they all have the colored backspacer, different color depending on which model you get. It's a lockback design, 420 HC steel, and really the only downside I've seen so far with this knife is that the blade does have a little bit of up and down play, and it does wiggle quite a bit. Like, look at that center pivot right there. As I move the knife up and down, it's kind of wiggly. And look at the lock right here where my thumb was. I'll try and get it on camera. So as I move that blade up and down, it does wiggle. So while you're cutting something, you might notice that. Was a little bit of side-to-side play when I first got it, but I tightened the pivot right there, and that tightened out with no problem. Has an opening hole, kind of hard to open with just a thumb action, which most lockbacks are kind of like that, but with a little bit of wrist action it flings right out. Retention is good. I saw another video on YouTube where the retention was very poor in holding the knife in the handle, and if that's the case, you adjust this screw right here, and that increases the tightness on the lock bar, and that'll make it either impossible to open or nice and springy where it'll return on its own and stay shut. So 4-way positionable pocket clip, which is really good to see at a knife at this price point. So carry it however you want, lefty friendly. And overall, a pretty good addition to the Buck lineup. Not bad at all. Has jimping built into the frame here in the top. And when you open the blade up, you'll see there's jimping on the knife itself, the blade up here. Although the blade jimping is very smooth, almost useless. But the stuff on the frame, it actually digs into your fingers quite a bit. More impressive than it looks at first glance. Same thing with down here. These nice cutouts, you can feel it catch on your skin as you hold it, and that turns into what otherwise would be a very slick, smooth knife into something that you can hold on to when you have to. So really good choice. Nice slim knife, perfect for gentleman's pocket carry, but also ready to go to work. That 420 HC blade came razor sharp, hair popping sharp, and that's really nice to say. So pretty impressive overall. So nice choice with this Walmart exclusive. I bet that the 722 Spitfire has similar fit and finish. Like I said, only downside is the A little bit of wiggle up and down when the blade's locked open. And maybe it's a little bit hard to open up with just your thumb if you're trying to flick it open. You got to get some wrist action in there. But other than that, great knife. So highly recommended.